The situation that schools find themselves in is extremely serious, and we've asked the government really to put safety ahead of politics, to change course, to get ahead of this virus and its transmission in schools. And we believe that the only credible response right now is to move immediately to remote learning for children up and down the country. Well, look, we've put the Secretary of State, Gavin Willimson, on notice very clearly again today about his his statutory obligations to ensure safety in our schools. We've also written to employers to remind them of their statutory obligations and the liabilities that they would face if they get it wrong in terms of safe working practices. We can't have a situation in which government has disregard of the law and those statutory obligations, or that employers do the same. So the NASUWT will do, frankly, whatever it takes to ensure that the safety of our members in schools is protected at this time. But we've been very clear with the government and with employers that it's their responsibility to ensure the safety of our members, but also the safety of children and young people in schools. Yeah, I mean, we can absolutely understand the concerns that parents, the length and breadth of the country, will be expressing about returning their children back to schools. Let's be no doubt, the NASUWT wants to see children in schools. We want to see children back in schools where it is safe and where their education is not being disrupted. But, all teachers, education staff and pupils deserve protection in the face of what is a highly deadly and highly contagious virus. The government has got a responsibility to get ahead of the game on these matters, not making a bad situation worse, if you will, but actually recognising that it needs to take radical preventative action to ensure the safety of staff and pupils working in schools. And when we've been calling since March of last year for the government to do much, much more to invest in remote education. But I think it's also got to be clear that the system has come on in leaps and bounds since the first national restrictions in March, April of 2020. An infrastructure has been developed, school by school, but also a national infrastructure has been developed to support remote education. We need to have the confidence around that infrastructure at a time when the health and safety of pupils and of staff is potentially being placed at risk. So we're saying, commit to remote education. Of course, the government needs to put more resources into supporting remote education, but that shouldn't be a reason for not moving ahead with remote education at a time when we have a new variant of this virus, which the government admits is up to 70% more transmissible. We need to see preventative measures being taken to assure the safety of pupils and staff.